Hello everyone, welcome back to Molly's Cozy Kitchen. Since today is Rosh Hashanah, let's make some homemade challah bread. If you don't know, Rosh Hashanah is the Jewish New Year, and challah bread is a braided egg bread typically eaten on holidays, though it can be eaten year-round. This recipe comes from one of my favorite cookbooks, and it's super amazing and very easy to make. Let's get started. Let's start by adding 2 tablespoons of instant or active dry yeast to 1 cup of warm water. We're also going to add a teaspoon of granulated sugar and stir everything up. I love adding sugar to yeast, I just think it helps it move along faster. Alright, set that aside for 10 minutes until nice and frothy. Okay, in a large bowl, we're going to combine half a cup of warm water, half a cup of delicious honey, that's a bit sticky, half a cup of neutral oil, and 3 eggs. You can beat these beforehand or just pour them in, plus 1 teaspoon of salt. Break up the egg yolks first, and then mix everything together. It does not have to be perfect, you can just get it mostly combined. Then we're going to add 1 cup of all-purpose flour. We're doing this so that the yeast does not directly touch the salty mixture. We do not want to kill the yeast. And then stirring everything together. Once again, this doesn't have to be perfect. It can be kind of lumpy because we're going to add more flour. You're going to need about 4 to 5 more cups of flour, but I would start with 2 or 3 because you can always add ingredients, but you can never take away. That is a lesson I have had to learn the hard way. Alright, once we have our flour in, I'm taking my Danish whisk, but you can also do this in a stand mixer or just with a spoon, getting everything into a nice sticky ball, then putting some generous amounts of flour on your work surface and kneading the dough by hand. Once again, you can also do this in a stand mixer. Add plenty of flour so it does not stick together, and start kneading for about 5 to 10 minutes. I don't know about you guys, let me know below, but I absolutely love kneading. I think it's so therapeutic and soothing, and then you get this amazing, beautiful, soft bread dough out of it. Alright, once our dough is completely smooth and sticky and kind of bouncing back when you poke it, we're going to grease a bowl and plop our bread dough in it. Get every inch of it coated so it doesn't stick together, and cover with a clean kitchen towel and let it rest for an hour. We have our dough nice and puffy and rested, so we're just going to knock the air out of it. This is so satisfying to me. And then we're going to lightly flour our work surface again. And once it's nice and floured, we're going to use a bench scraper, or I'm using an offset spatula because I don't have a bench scraper, to divide the dough into 2 equal pieces. You can either make 2 loaves of challah right now, or you can freeze the other half for challah in the future. That's what I did, so that I could make some actually on Rosh Hashanah. Alright, knock the air out, zip it up, and with the remaining half of the challah, we're going to divide into 3 pieces. I'm just making a simple 3-strand braided challah, but let me know in the comments down below if you'd like to see me make more advanced challah with 4 or more strands. Alright, roll it out to about 16 inches or so. That's about 48 centimeters for the rest of the world. Alright, lay it on a baking sheet lined with parchment paper. Repeat with the remaining dough strands. And pinch the ends together, like so. Alright, once we have that all done, we're going to simply braid the challah. If you don't know how to braid, then you take the left strand, move it over the middle, then the right, move it over the new center, and just keep repeating until you have a beautifully braided loaf. When you're done with the braiding, pinch the ends together. If there's excess, you can trim that off and turn it into a little mini loaf. That's what I ended up doing. Tuck the ends under, and you can either let it rest now, just as is, a simple, beautiful braided challah, but because this is Rosh Hashanah, we are making a round challah today. So what you're going to do for that is take one end, wrap it around towards the center, wrap the other end around, tuck the ends under, and there we have it. Now we can let it rest for another half an hour. The loaf is wonderful and rested, so we're going to beat 1 egg. And once the egg is nicely beaten, we're going to use a pastry brush to brush it all over the challah loaf. If you think this isn't necessary, think again. Your challah's loaf color will change drastically when you brush it with this egg. It's going to get nice and crackly and golden brown and delicious. Make sure you get every nook and cranny for a wonderful, wonderful color. Alright, so now that our loaf is brushed with egg, we can put it in the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 25 minutes. You can rotate it halfway around so it bakes evenly if your oven is a little bit uneven, like mine is. And now we have gorgeous, delicious, wonderful challah. I'm going to trim off a couple slices for my brother and I to try, hot with butter. Honey is also traditional during Rosh Hashanah. And this is a delicious, chewy, flavorful, sweet challah loaf. If you like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click that bell for notifications. You can check out the full recipe at mollyscozykitchen.com. Shaman Tovah!